Of the multiple phones that came out 6 years ago, which one do you remember the most? Some might say it was the mega hit that was the Galaxy S3 or its super-sized cousin, the Note 2. For others, it has to be the Nexus 4, an astronomical bargain before OnePlus took the sector by storm. But to the legions of Nokia fans out there, it was the Nokia 808 Pureview, the last Symbian phone ever produced, with 41 megapixel sensor that remains to date one of the highest in terms of resolution, only equaled by its successor, the Lumia 1020. Clearly a phone ahead of its time it was. The Nokia 808 was the accumulation of a decade of experience Nokia had with developing cameras on a phone, a journey that began with the 7650, building up gradually to encompass the likes of the N93, N95, N82, N86, and N8. The 808 was born out of a dream to make 3 times optical zoom of the N93 into a package small enough for a mobile phone. While the N93's optical zoom was technically impressive, the bulk of the mechanism required made it unsuitable for anything beyond a niche use case in an industry where thinness is highly prized. Nokia engineers rose to the challenge and spent the subsequent 6 years creating what would end up as 808. The Nokia 808, however, was not defined by the camera alone. Its hardware and software both have compelling stories to tell on their own. The phone itself is primarily dominated of plastic, which however is not a bad thing in itself. Instead, the 169 grams of mass and the matte finish of the plastic makes this phone feel sturdy and dense, almost equivalent to that of the legendary 3310. To accommodate the huge sensor, the phone is understandably thick at up to 90mm, yet it does not leave it uncomfortable to hold even when typing horizontally. Special mention has to be made of the buttons. The volume and camera shutter buttons are tactile and a joy to use. And the screen lock slider, a signature of Nokia Symbian devices, makes the step of unlocking much faster than the usual slide to unlock method, although you can actually do that if you want. When it comes to the display, the Nokia 808's 4-incher is somewhat of a mixed bag. At 1/9 the resolution of Full HD, the PPI is at the low side of 184 pixels per inch, giving text and icons a somewhat fuzzy appearance. But this is more than compensated by the OLED qualities of the screen itself. Overall, if it wasn't for its low PPI and screen size, the screen would still be considered competitive today. Hardware-wise, the 808 is impressively solid and impeccable, but the software not so much. You see, the Nokia 808 ran on Symbian Belle, feature pack 1 out of the box, the last smartphone to run the veteran OS, which traced its heritage all the way back to the Psion PDAs of the late 80s. And it was the last phone to officially do so, when Nokia by then had effectively dumped Symbian in favour of Windows Phone. Symbian Belle borrowed many elements of Android, be it the drop-down notifications, flat menu structure, and flexible widgets, which were lacking in earlier implementation of Symbian, which more often than not were panned for being less user-friendly than iOS and Android. It also pioneered the use of NFC, though as a means of pairing with other phones, rather than for making mobile payments as it is mostly used today for. And it even had always-on display years before it was cool. Despite the efforts here to improve Symbian's usability, there were still inescapable limitations, the most critical one being web. The roots of Symbian were designed in an era where the internet was still in its infancy, and system resources were rather scarce on mobile. This hurt Symbian in an era where the internet became increasingly complex and demanded from cell phone users, and where iOS and Android, designed without the legacy roots of Symbian, had an edge in this regard. In fact, Nokia had acknowledged this internally and prepared MeeGo as the successor of Symbian. Unfortunately, Stefan Elop's arrival as CEO of Nokia screwed such a plan that might have actually led to a viable third horse in the smartphone industry. I could go on and on about how limited Symbian was even for its heydays, like how the Wi-Fi does not automatically connect to remember networks, how games and apps feel remarkably inferior compared to the Android and iOS counterparts, etc. But these are stories for another day. Okay, now let's get to the Nokia 808's raison d'etre, the 41 megapixel camera. It has cowl-sized optics, a mechanical shutter, xenon cum LED flash, and 2 microphones rated to record stereo sound up to 140 decibels. Initially, when I got the A08 not too long ago, I was expected to be blown away by the results. It does if you were to compare it to contemporaries. Capturing speeds are also decently fast thanks to a custom image signaling processor built in that takes care of post-processing. But today's smartphones have benefited from much more powerful SoCs and software such as HDR+ seen in the Google Pixel smartphones, which makes capturing pictures faster and helps with difficult backlight scenes, respectively. In my honest opinion, the A08's camera hardware combined with today's ISPs and post-processing software would likely still make this a camera worthy of a 2018 flagship. The camera software is surprisingly intuitive to use. You get automatic scenes and 3 custom settings to quickly switch in between full resolution and Pureview, the latter which allows you to make use of the lossless zoom, which can go all the way until 12 times if you record video at 360p. Speaking of video, the Nokia L8 records 1080p videos up to 30 frames per second. You can even adjust it all the way down to 25, 24 or even 50 FPS if it suits you better. Sound is crisp and clear, but the only thing missing is optical image stabilization for steadier videography, which will later be added on in the Nokia Lumia 1020. The A08 might have been the tragic start of an operating system sacrificed at the altar of the burning platform that was Symbian. But its legacy continued in the form of the Lumia 1020 and 950, which continued Nokia's lead as the top smartphone for photography. The concept of lossless zoom would eventually be continued in the form of telephoto lenses in conjunction with the main lens, popularized by Apple's iPhone 7 Plus. Did you know that many of the Nokia Pureview engineers will end up working for Apple and Huawei? And now HMD Global is said to be releasing a 5-camera flagship very soon that will continue on the A08's legacy. We can only hope that they will hit the bullseye when it comes and bring Nokia's revival full circle. If you'd like to know a few more technical details about the A08 not discussed here, check out the video above where I'll go through them more thoroughly. And if you ended up enjoying my videos, feel free to like, comment and subscribe as well. Don't forget to click the bell icon to be alerted to every video that I publish. Thank you and see you on the next video.